They've been doing it for generations. It is still there. They are still doing it like this.
Jadi kalau saya tidak buat, siapa lagi kan? Ini benda memang bukan senang lah untuk mengawal ini. Tapi kita cuba lah. Daripada duduk diam kan, kita cuba lah.
The way the enforcement is carried out is such that we do not want to have direct confrontation with the villagers. The idea is we can go on a slower approach, make sure that the villagers are converted.
Conservation, we can only see the result after 20, 30 years. We can only see the adult turtles from the baby after 20 and 30 years. So in order for conservation to be long-term, it has to require support for long-term as well.
Jenis penyu apa itu?
Ini green turtle.
Pasukan polis Marine berjaya menumpaskan sindiket penyeludup telur penyu.
Peniaga terus mengaut keuntungan dengan menjual telur penyu tempatan dengan
ia perlu disekat dan dihentikan demi memastikan kelangsungan.
Adalah sumber rezeki kita yang sewajarnya dipelihara, dikekalkan dan bukan untuk dibunuh.
According to International Union Conservation Species, we call it IUCN, they have reported that the majority of species of the sea turtles in the world is decreasing. There's an indirect impact as well if sea turtles are extinct. So imagine if the coastal and the marine habitat is unhealthy, hence there could be less fishes. So food security is being jeopardized because we depend on these certain components that link to turtles in the beginning.
About 11 years ago, one of the Sabah Wildlife Department officer by the name of Roland approached me saying that there's a landowner on Libaran itself. He has been complaining that he has sea turtle landing on the land of his, laying eggs, but the villagers are going there to poach the eggs. We went on a recce trip onto the island. Once that's done, then we go about setting up the conservation program. About 15 years ago, I started a tourism accommodation lodge in Kampung Bilit along Kinabatangan. Now, as soon as I started the operation there, I realized that for us to continue to enjoy the environment and the wildlife that we have in Sabah, protecting it and conserving it is definitely very important. So on Kinabatangan itself, I started off with a very primitive project. Why I say primitive? Because I do not have the know-how. I had the wanting, the willingness to want to do. I started off with Western tarsier conservation. So I started off working on conservation and protection work on the Western tarsier. I've engaged a scientist to help me in that. Within a year into it, I have 3 deaths of the tarsier. Then I realized if you are not in the know-how to handle this kind of work, it's best to leave it to the scientists to do it. So I kept myself out of that work. And I went into a collaboration at that time with WWF Malaysia, the World Wildlife Fund. They were setting up a tourism association along Kinabatangan to include all the tourism players, to use that as a platform to run collaboration work with the government agency to conserve the area. So that's how my journey of conservation continued. Then I became the president of the association. Until today, I'm still the president. And from there, I got to know the Sabah Wildlife Department, and in particular, Mr. Lauren, quite well. And that leads to Libaran work. Yeah.
Rumah di kampung ni adalah 84 buah rumah kampung. Penduduk dia dalam 396 orang termasuk kanak-kanak. Dan kawasan kampung ini adalah 400 hektar. Pendapatan utama di pulau ini rata-rata penduduk kampung dia nelayan lah. Setiap pagi ataupun setiap petang dia akan ke laut. Dalam 2-3 jam di laut, dia akan balik ke pantai lah.
It is definitely not easy. Even right now, we've been there for 10 years now. We are still getting the villagers going out at night, trying to beat us to getting a nest. Doing the enforcement of the area, making sure that nobody actually go and poach the turtle eggs. That was not welcome at all. They've been doing it for generations there, because then you are spoiling their bread and butter. So we had to strike a balance. What we did at that time was the area that I was leasing, then we basically just patrol up to the boundary of that land. Anything beyond that boundary, then the villagers were still free to go and take the eggs. These are facts of the matters. It's not something that I made it up. If you were to go back onto the island round, it is still there. They are still doing it like this. The way the enforcement is carried out is such that we do not want to have direct confrontation with the villagers. So it's no good for us to go down there and do a conservation or a protection work, and yet at the same time we fight the villagers. No. The idea is we can go on a slower approach, make sure that the villagers are converted, for that matter. Yes.
It takes a while for communities to be aware, be part of conservation, until to an extent where they feel it's so important, then they decided to be part of conservation. And you can see the result. Certain areas in other parts of the world have seen some increase of number of nests when compared to perhaps the last decade. Conservation activities, for example, the monitoring and patrolling the beaches to save the eggs and the nests, is one of the factors that led to such increase in the number of nests that is recorded.
Tengok besok pagi bersih lagi tu. Ya, pagi bersih. Dan saya ditugaskan untuk ambil gambar tu. Saya hantar terus pergi pos.
Now in Sabah, there is a law that for you to handle protected species such as the sea turtles, the green turtles, or the hawksbill turtle, you need to be an honorary wildlife warden. So that's what SADI is, an honorary wildlife warden. To be certified as a warden, you go through a 4-day course conducted by the Wildlife Department. Their job then was to run the monitoring of the beachfront, make sure that when turtle lands, they get to collect the turtle eggs and then move it to the hatchery, as well as to clean up the area, man the hatchery.
Our hatchery, actually this is the second hatchery. Before this hatchery, memang dia punya risiko, memang ada risiko juga lah. Lagipun saya jaga sana, saya satu orang kan. Selalunya saya akan berterundaan. Kalau ikut saya punya masa 7 PM sampai 6 AM in the morning. Saya akan setiap 2 jam saya akan meronda. Kerja saya mencari penyu. Memang malam-malam saya mesti cari penyu. Itulah. Habis kalau ada penyu pun memang prosesnya lama. bukan untuk gambar siap begitu ambil siap, memang mau rekod semua online semua, lepas tu pindah memang prosesnya 2-3 jam lebih gitu. Because of the predator. Ya. Because of predator ya. Sebab ya kita tahu kan a lot of the lizard, monitor lizard is the first predator ya. Sebab itu kita ada warden, kita tanggung jawab. Kita mesti sebelum kalau boleh cepat kita tahu itu penyu sudah rare ya, kita mesti transfer dia. Ini adalah hatchery untuk penetasan anak penyu. Ya, nama hatchery ini aquagot hatchery ya. Okey, sekarang kita nampak ada 3 sarang yang belum menetas. Sebelum ini kita ada banyak sarang, ada lebih kurang 20, tapi dia sudah menetas. Ini kami panggil indicator. Ya, selepas kami sudah tanam itu telur penyu, kami akan write down in here. Ya, like this one ya. JHL is mean Jabatan Hidupan Liar. And this one the serial number 21 in the 64. Maksudnya ini tahun 2021, ini yang sarang ke-64. And yang di bawah ni dia punya tarikh 23 bulan 12 2021. Dan last ni sector 1. Yang di bawah ni GT. GT maksudnya green turtle. And the last one 72 is number of eggs. Jumlah telurnya. Okey, ini awareness. Kami panggil awareness. Memang pentinglah, sangat penting pada baby turtle ni. Because sometimes the predator like the monitor lizard or crab, snake kan, kalau dia sudah dapat masuk di pagar ni, waktu dia mau makan, dia bergali, dia tidak akan, dia panjat, dia akan begini jatuh. Susah untuk dia dapat itu. Dia akan begini. Ya. Jadi chance-nya untuk makan itu memang tipis lah. Sebenarnya lepas dia menetas kami akan lepas terus. Kami tidak akan simpan lama. Dan kami akan lepas dia waktu malam saja.
So having an area that is protected will give the opportunity for these female sea turtles to safely lay their eggs. This is very important because in order for a sea turtle population to maintain or increase, they need these baby sea turtles that hatch out from the eggs from the beach to contribute back to that larger population. In a sea turtle life cycle, it starts from the egg, then to the baby sea turtle, and then to a juvenile, and then to the adult turtles. And that adult will be the one coming back to the beach to nest at the same area. Based on published studies, have mentioned that sea turtles that was born at that beach, they will come back to the same area. This characteristic is what the turtle scientists, they call it natal homing, where it gives the opportunity for that adult turtles to know where she was born. And after 20 or 30 years, they will come back to the same area.
Sadi, I feel as a local Libaran Islander, he has blossomed a lot. He started off with quite shy, very introvert, but if you look at him right now, he definitely has come out of that, you know. He's very willing to share about his work, his village, and he's very proud of his work.
Memanglah kadang-kadang saya punya anak pun dia tanya macam mana masa sama kami pun bilangnya siang saja, malam bilangnya jarang jumpa. Ya. Habis saya begitu, saya memang kerja saya malam, saya kerja sebagian malam. Jadi siang saya akan di rumah, jadi malam saya akan kerja. Jadi kerja saya cari penyu. Memang malam-malam saya mesti cari penyu. Jadi bukan senang je lah di modern. Ini benda memang bukan senang lah untuk mengawal ini. Tapi kita cuba lah. Ya, daripada duduk diam kan, terpaksa kita cuba lah. Memang letih, memang letih. Jadi kalau saya tidak buat, siapa lagi kan?
The work that I've started on Libaran 10 years ago, I don't actually expect myself to see the results so soon. A mature sea turtle will come back to lay eggs around the area about 15, 18 years down the road. So the turtles that I've released, say 10 years ago, probably another 5, 8 more years before they come back. I'm glad that the work has been done, but I know that I will not be able to see the fruit of my labor. Basically, that's it. So basically, the work that I'm doing is for the future generations. It's not for me. I believe that anybody, as a human being, you have a social responsibility to leave behind a place better than what you have inherited. I always feel that my business has been blessed and my business has been doing well. Therefore, with the extra money that I have, I will have to find an avenue or certain ways to have to give back to the society. And one of the ways that I found quite fulfilling for me is to go into a program as such, the Libaran program. The idea is that if I were to leave behind a better Libaran than I started off with, then the whole area will actually prosper in terms of marine diversity.
Perbezaannya pulau ni dulu kira terbiarlah pulau ni. Sebab tiada yang mengusahakan pulau. Jadi sekarang ni syukurlah ada saudara Alex yang membuat perubahan atas pulau ni. Ya, harapan saya dan juga selaku ketua kampung bersama penduduk pulau, semoga hatchery yang ditubuhkan oleh saudara Alex ini akan diteruskan sepanjang masa. Sebab dia akan memberi manfaat kepada penduduk pulau untuk menjana pendapatan.
I would definitely like to say a big appreciation to them, first of all, for really spending time to be part of conservation. These individuals have other life priorities they have to attend to. For example, maybe they have a family to attend to, or even a family, or even other occupations. And imagine if they have to spend time at night to save sea turtles. So it's like a overtime, full-time job lah, in that sense. Yeah. So I'm really appreciative with them because they really put their time, energy, and even some financially perhaps in those components in conservation. we do need this kind of individuals, resources, and also support, because conservation, we can only see the result after 20, 30 years. I can give an example of sea turtles, easy here. We can only see the adult turtles from the baby after 20 and 30 years. So in order for conservation to be long-term, it has to require support for long-term as well.
Oh, I'm absolutely happy. I'm, actually glad to be able to play a part in putting back 30,000 baby sea turtles. Obviously, by now we have done more. Most probably we have crossed 35,000 now, and that was 3 years ago now. The work carry on. The future work, in fact, 10 years ago, the KPI that I've set for myself, I've achieved all of it and even more. The KPI include the conserving and the protecting of the sea turtles, include creating the awareness. We have appeared in some good documentaries series, which will include this one. Now we have even come up with a book to record down our work. So the KPI has been fulfilled. I think I've set new KPI for myself. It will be that within the next 2-3 years, to be able to pass on this project to the villagers. Yeah? That I want to take a back seat, if not completely draw out of Libaran itself. That I would not want to be the front guy running the show. I want the village to take over the program. So it is for the environment that I'm working on. From the onset, I'm very, very aware that I don't own the place. Yeah, things that I'm doing up there, I'm just taking custody of it, using my resources that's made available because my business is doing well. That I will make sure that the place is being done up properly, and then I'll pass it on. I've never seen Libaran as my own. It's never my own. I think conservationists will agree with me. A lot of the work that many of them are doing, they will come in with this kind of mindset. That the work it's not theirs. They are basically trying to rearrange it, do it up properly, and then pass it on to the next generation.